and presented it to the production designer who had her own spin on it, and then together they presented that to the director.
The Haiti compound, the actual place that we had, was visually very uninspiring. But when Ruth gets her mind around something, you will see that she has totally turned that environment into something entirely different. Now I gotta check this with you guys.
What we tried to do is take what was existing there and add to it. I mean, it was just a bunch of garages with some lush magnolia trees and roots, and we got like every single door, every piece of corrugated tin, wood shack, cement block wall, and just used that as kind of a periphery of what it may have been an existing village at some time. I think for me the trademark thing with that was the vehicles. I used those more than anything to tell the story because I felt like if they took these vehicles and customized it in a way that made it appear that they were an army in their own mind, that would tell the story more than anything else I could do at that point.
What Ruth has the ability to do is put layers behind the layers, as opposed to just giving you what you need up front. You can open up a cupboard, and even though nobody's going to open the cupboard, there'll be things in that cupboard that if an actor decides to open it, it's going to inspire him and his character and what he does.
What we had to try and do is imply that there were more people to this army than what we actually saw, than the people we cast. That there were people there in the middle of nowhere surviving, that they were organized in how they got water, that they did their laundry, that to show that people were actually living there, though you didn't actually see the people. It was all about Sam D. It was like megalomania, and so that's why we chose his face as the motif. That is what really kind of drove that design. We made these murals of him where it just said, you know, Sam D is God and I am God, and tried to use that graffiti and ghetto art to tell that story.
Remark.
Ready.
Set.
It was amazing, putting you in that world of, wow, I'm not in Southern California, I'm in Haiti. It truly was a great location to fire an AK-47 in. We've been very fortunate with our production design, with the guys, from the guys that build the sets, to paint the sets, to dress the sets, to everything, you know, being able to give us the world to live in.
Just to constantly go from different settings, that just, you know, from Africa to streets of Tokyo to a movie house in Germany to the cornfields of Kansas. I just think they do a great job of being able to recreate that.
And the journey for Hero and Ando continues to a comic shop in Kansas, where the attention to detail wowed both cast and crew.
The comic shop was wonderful. Ruth just outdid herself.
It was just stacked and just filled with thousands and thousands of comic books, which I don't even know where they got it from.
I was very tempted just to pick one and just say, hey, can I take this? All right, thanks, you know.
Just being in that setting, it just sort of made you feel like a kid again, you know. I could have just sat there and read comic books all day.
Welcome to the house of fun. Now I've come of age. Welcome to the house of fun. Welcome to the lion's den. Temptations on his way. Welcome to the house of fun.
If you're a comic book fan, it was literally heaven.
As I said, what happened to the old gag where you put, you know, the $100 bill on one side and the $100 bill on the other and fill the rest with newspaper, you know? I figured we could do the same thing, but no, in typical sort of Heroes fashion, we now own thousands of comic books.
Look, and as they're looking back, just hit your line.
Recruiting cult actors Breckin, Meyers and Seth Green brought real comic value to these scenes.
When I found out that it was Seth and Breckin, you know, playing Sam and Frag, I was like, no way! Are you kidding me?
They are hilarious guys. I wish we could have filmed the material they were doing off screen. It was probably one of the most fun, relaxed days for the crew. It was the last day of the episode, and it just felt like a party the whole day we were shooting that.
Marcy makes me understand. I'm never gonna get James up. Never gonna let James down.
Action!
I know when they were casting Seth, they asked him who else he might want to bring, and he said Breckin, because this is his best friend, which I thought was just really adorable.
Excuse me. Yeah, I'll be right with you. Don't worry, it's plenty of Red Hawks for everybody.
We're like the kind of gatekeepers of the Ninth Wonder comic. You know, where do you get another Ninth Wonder comic? We gotta go to a comic book shop.
It's true. You're gonna go to any comic book shop, you're gonna go to ours.
You go to Sam's comic book shop.
That's right.
Because Sam knows where it's at.
Sam? Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny to be on the cover of the comic book.
They drew our faces, it's all comic booky, like.
Yeah.
Very silly. We were trying to match those expressions, which only made us look sillier to each other. And then we have to look at each other with the very typical, like,